Hi everybody, well, welcome to another video. Sorry if the title is a bit misleading, but I'm going to talk about the negatives of the VFR 1200. I have sort of like mentioned a couple of niggles with it, but what I'm going to do is balance it up a little bit. The reason I'm doing this is that I've often heard the term, is it the best bike you've ever had? Or somebody has said to me, is it better than your last one, blah blah blah. Of course, that's a difficult question to answer, isn't it? And it may be because I've made so many videos about the VFR that people do think that I think it's the best bike I've ever had. So let's just put some balance on it. So there's the best bike I've had. No, not that lovely Firestorm. My very first one, my Fizzie. Okay? Because that started all off, 1973 when I was 16. It's going to be hard to match that. Just those youthful memories. Fantastic. So when I started the channel, the idea was simply to be an insight into the VFR for people who were looking to buy one. Or in fact just hints and tips to people who've already got them, and maybe get some back from them people as well. So to balance it, I am going to talk about the negatives of the VFR 1200 today. Okay, first one is the screen. Now, to be honest, very few bikes have good screens these days, do they? But for a sports tourer, yeah, it is pretty poor. It's a bit low. You get a lot of wind blast in your face from it. Hence, this deflector I've bought. I did have a cheap eBay one you'll have seen on my other videos. So yeah, for a sports tourer and a GT sports tourer, I would call it, because it very much is a grand tourer. The screen is poor. Yeah, a definite negative. No worry for you people with DCT gearboxes. That clutch is heavy. Not a bit heavy, it is heavy. Reminds me of the old early 70s Italian bikes, the Verdes and that. In normal use, I mean, I just take a whiff of it sometimes, a little bit of clutch. But filtering, when you're feathering that clutch lever, yeah, that is definitely a negative. It is heavy. Okay, two things I'm reluctant to say as negatives, but I'm going to say it because people do mention it. Seat's a bit firm. Again, for a sports tour, it's a little bit firm. Although once I get an ache in the usual place, it doesn't get any worse. It just stays as it is. But it is slightly firm, that seat. Now then, ride quality on the VFR is superb. When you jump off a bike back onto the VFR, it glides along beautifully. But I will say, as a negative, on slow villagey roads with bumpy, choppy roads, the ride is a bit choppy. Yeah, I think it's called high-speed compression damping problem. So when the shock has to compress quickly, it struggles a little bit. So yeah, bit of a choppy ride at slow speed on bumpy roads. Now, if you look at my videos, you'll see lots of info about the tank size, and I've done a full range one. But again, for the type of bike, I suppose the 19-litre tank you would suggest is a little bit of a negative. I mean, it hasn't happened in real life because most people stop before I want to stop, so I don't find an issue. But I think if somebody said to me, what would you have changed if you were if you were designing the VFR 1200, I'd say yeah, slightly bigger tank, 21 litres would do. So yeah, that is a negative. Obvious one coming up now. It is heavy. It's not heavy for a sports tour or a bike like this, 267 kilograms. But yeah, you can't get away from the figures. It's heavy. You feel it when you're moving it about. But like most bikes, on the move, no problem. Okay, another popular negative. You can see I've got a power commander fitted. Sorry about the bit of a tacky sticker there, but this bike didn't have the tyre pressure label on there. I've been trying to find one. But yeah, low speed fueling. So whilst it's improved apparently on the 2012 VFR with that tweaked ECU, mine still has that little, even with the power commander, it still has that little bit of a shunt at very low revs and just coming off a light throttle, probably 2,500 revs, something like that. I ride around it obviously because I'm expecting it to do it, but yes, I'm gonna say that is a negative. So let's sum it up. Hard, firmish seat, power screen, heavy clutch, power low speed fueling, bit of a sort of choppy ride at low speeds, quite heavy, but all in all, do I love the VFR 1200 and would I recommend it? Too right I would. It's a fantastic bike. Thanks again for watching.